While doing my research on the toxic levels of vitamin D, I find conflicting opinions, but I'm going to stick to the one from the Endocrine Society. They suggest a safety limit of 100 nanograms per milliliter, and I will use those levels as a guideline in my video. They also report that once your blood levels reach greater than 150 nanograms per milliliter, this is a very toxic level of vitamin D. So you really want to watch your vitamin D intake and do not exceed taking 10,000 international units a day unless you're under the care of your doctor and under close observation. Remember to do your own research and consult with your doctor or healthcare provider for a safe limit for your individual needs, because everyone's needs are different.
Hello, I want to go over the symptoms of vitamin D toxicity. I spoke about it in my last video, and I really didn't break it down like I should have. And I received one email from someone that said, you said you would mention the toxicity levels, but you didn't. So I decided to do another video and kind of break that down. And I apologize for that, because sometimes I get into the video recording mode and trying to get all the information down and trying to remember what I looked over and then refer back to my notes. And sometimes I skip over a section altogether. So let's get to that now. The toxicity levels of vitamin D. 25 hydroxy vitamin D or 25 OHD. That's the test. 25 OHD, 25 hydroxy vitamin D. And that would be the vitamin D level test that you would have. The toxicity levels, I said in the last video, I told you about the toxicity levels, which is greater than 100 nanograms per liter. That's toxic. This is danger zone, okay? So what happens when you get above these levels? And actually, even if you get above 50 nanograms per deciliter, that's when you really need to start watching it, because that's when it's getting up to the toxicity level. You don't want to get that high. But I would rather you be over 50 than over 100, because what can happen if you reach these toxic levels of vitamin D? Now, usually when you get toxicity greater than 100 nanograms per liter, it's usually because you're taking too many supplements. If you have excessive amounts of supplements in your blood and you're eating foods high in vitamin D, but I think the toxicity level mainly comes from the vitamins. Matter of fact, I don't just think, I know, because I did a little research, and everywhere I've read, it says it usually comes from the supplementation. So you have to watch the supplementations. And I went over the proper dosages of the vitamin D3 in my other video. So you may want to take a look at that over there, because I really want to just focus on the toxicity symptoms you may feel. Now, first, you'll probably start feeling some nausea. And after the nausea, usually when you're feeling nauseous, you want to vomit. Some people feel nausea without vomiting, but it usually follows close behind. So if you start feeling nauseous and vomiting, can't keep anything down, you might want to check out the vitamin D3 level. And ironically, usually when you're having symptoms from toxic levels of anything, usually, even with vitamins or even foods, for instance, I'm not talking vitamin D, but anytime something upsets you in your system, it usually happens in your gut, your GI system, your gastrointestinal system. So usually that's the first area that starts telling you, hello, alarm bells are going off. Hello, something's wrong. If you're feeling nauseous and you're vomiting, that's something for you to be aware of. And you need to check out how much of those vitamin D supplements you're taking. And it could be a warning sign that your vitamin D levels will be too high, toxic high. Another symptom of excessive vitamin D levels is the need to drink a lot of water. You just become thirsty. And not only excessive thirst, like constant thirst, you have excessive urination. That can be a symptom of high levels of vitamin D in your blood, which can also elevate your calcium levels in your blood, which can lead to dehydration and increased urination. So it's all a vicious cycle. You really want to watch those vitamin D levels. You really want to watch how much of the supplementations you're taking. The next symptom you might be feeling is unusually tired and weak, like your muscle strength. You're just, fatigued, tired all the time, very weak in the muscles. Fatigue is usually a common symptom of feeling run down without any reason, like you're just tired all the time. You got enough sleep, but you're still tired. It may be worth checking your vitamin D levels. It could be a symptom of vitamin D toxicity. What about confusion? Vitamin D toxicity can affect your mental clarity. So if you're feeling confused all the time or forgetful, you're just having all these different cognitive issues, it might be worth checking those vitamin D levels. Even if you're feeling like disoriented, like I just can't think straight or whatever, any of that, notify your doctor and let him know, you know what, I think I need to get my vitamin D checked because all of these symptoms I'm feeling, and I'm just concerned that my levels might be too high. Another serious symptom to note is kidney issues. Elevated calcium levels can lead to kidney stones or even damage the kidneys. If you feel swelling in your lower back or there's back pain, changes in your urination, like if you're urinating too much, which is urination is just peeing, going to the bathroom a lot, diuresing, you need to have the levels checked out because you never know what's going on with your kidneys. If you go to the doctor and he or she hits you on the back, on your back like this, and you have pain, that's kidney pain. Your kidneys are in the back. So if somebody hits you in the back and you feel pain, like just with a tap, they don't even have to hit you hard. That means you got some kidney issues going on and you want to get that checked out. And surprisingly, some people start to have bone pain. Bone pain from vitamin D toxicity occurs because the calcium could be actually leaking into the bone space. There's a whole thing going on here with the calcium because sometimes that can actually leach into the bloodstream because the body's trying to regulate the calcium levels that's excessive due to the vitamin D toxicity. The body is attempting to regulate the high calcium levels that's floating around in the bloodstream due to the toxic levels of the vitamin D. Last but not least, vitamin D toxicity can lead to cardiovascular issues like irregular heartbeat or high blood pressure. If you're experiencing any kind of heart issues, heart palpitations, like if you feel like your heart's beating or it's beating out of your chest, chest pain, anything at all, shortness of breath, you need to notify your doctor right away. If it's after hours and you're having these symptoms and it's going from bad to worse, including multiple symptoms like nausea, vomiting, heart palpitations, frequent urination, if you're getting all of it, back pain, yeah. If it's after hours, you need to get to an ER, especially if you got confused, all of it. If it's a whole gamut of symptoms, you need to go and get your levels checked and get some treatment right away. So there you have it. If you found this information helpful, please click like and share, or even if you haven't subscribed yet, I would really appreciate you subscribing and look forward to more healthy tips and health information like this. I thank you so much. I'm Nurse Sabrina Clayton. You have a great day, and remember, if you're healthy, you're wealthy. Stay on top of those levels and keep yourself healthy. Take care.